Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on what is a very wet and miserable day out there, so why not sit back and watch a little bit of Arsenal chat to get you going this morning. I thought I'd pop on in. There's one thing I really wanted to talk about today, and I'm sure interested to get your views, so please do leave them down in the comments and the comment section, and I'll have a look at them and see what you've got to say about it. But it's kind of focused into the whole Mesut Ozil thing, which I don't want to spend too much time talking about Mesut because we've done that. It's been done time and time again. Obviously, we're waiting for that move to be confirmed. Interesting reports in Turkey suggesting Fenerbahce are going to have sort of penciled in Saturday as an announcement date. So we've still got 3 days to go for that one. Whether Arsenal announced that they've come to an agreement to cancel his contract before that, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But might well be a little bit of time left before the initial announcement, the official announcement comes. Obviously, Mesut Ozil has been announcing it pretty much every day for the last week with his various videos and pictures on his social media. But just on that Ozil thing and the fact he's leaving 6 months early, Arsenal getting no money for him, I just want to talk about what was clearly the biggest sort of transfer error or business error that Arsenal made in recent years. And it's something they've really got to improve. And I think it's played a massive part in their decline in terms of where they are, where the squad is now. And it's just the constant failure to get the most out of your assets. And Mesut Ozil, Alexis Sanchez, Aaron Ramsey, Arsenal got no money for those three players, really. I know they got Mkhitaryan for Sanchez, but they got no cash. So Ozil, Sanchez, Aaron Ramsey, imagine how much those three players are worth. And Arsenal got zero, no cash, nothing to build their squad, help build their squad back up after losing those players. They got nothing for it. That is, and you can add Santi Cazorla into that. He's obviously got injured and everything. We had Jack Wilshere as well. So imagine that, five of the most creative players Arsenal have had an awful long time. Wilshere, Sanchez, Ramsey, Ozil, Cazorla. Arsenal got precisely zero. No money for those. No cash to rebuild the squad and to reinvest back into the squad to try and strengthen things. When you're losing five players of that quality, yes, look, Wilshere had his injuries, Cazorla had his injuries, but still, five players of that quality, and you don't make any money, you don't bring any money in to be able to reinvest and strengthen, you're going to get weaker. You can't lose those sort of players and not get weaker. It's just a fact. And to not be able to invest any money back in is criminal, really. And it's something that I think has played a huge, huge part in Arsenal's decline in recent years, because they just haven't been able to invest the type of money. When you're a self-sustaining club like Arsenal, when you haven't got an owner who's just going to plough cash in, give you funds to spend to bring in whoever, like Chelsea have done recently, you need to do your business well, and to fail to get money for those sort of players. Arsenal sold poorly for so long, but to get zero for those five players over the last 3 or 4 years is absolutely criminal. And I think it plays a massive part of where Arsenal are and the struggles that they're facing at the moment in terms of rebuilding their squad. And it's something they've got to improve very, very quickly. They can't let this continue to happen if they want to get back challenging towards the top of the table, because like I said, if you've not got the money from the owner, you've got to do your business well. You've got to sell well, you've got to buy well, and Arsenal have done both pretty poorly in recent years. And I think the whole Ozil thing, again, now the dust is settled and we know he's gone and we've got through the whole controversy of the Mesut Ozil saga, when you actually sit down and look at it and you think how much money they've wasted on Mesut Ozil since that new contract, which clearly didn't work, was an absolute millstone around the club's neck. I think everyone at the club will regret giving him that new contract, but they were kind of backed into a corner because they lost Sanchez at the same time, and you lose Ozil and Sanchez at the same time. It's just a huge PR goal and everything that comes with it. So I can kind of understand why Ozil was given the contract. And look, we were all pretty happy when he did sign, and we didn't know it was going to end up going as it did. But I think now the dust is settled from it and he has moved on, and you look at the money Arsenal spent on him in the last few years in terms of wages, and the fact they're not going to get anything back from him, again, it's just terrible, terrible business. And for a club that prides themselves on doing things the right way, they've really got this sort of thing wrong in recent years, and it's something they've got to improve. And when you look at what's coming up next, looking at the players who now got 18 months left on their contracts at Arsenal, Eddie Nketiah, Alexander Lacazette, Callum Chambers, Mohamed El Neni. I'm sure plenty of people out there are saying, sell Eddie now, he's not good enough. I get that on social media an awful lot. Sell Elneny now, fine, sell Lacazette, sell Chambers. I'm not against all of those players leaving. I'm just saying, at the end of this summer, they're all going to have 1 year left on their contract. And then the club are in a terrible, terrible position. We've seen Arsenal, it happened time and time again. We were promised it wasn't going to happen when Raul He came in. He made his big comment of, if they get down to 2 years and don't sign, we're going to sell. That hasn't happened. And now Arsenal are in real trouble. You look at Eddie Nketiah, you've got to protect his market value. Look, he might not be good enough to make it at Arsenal. A lot of people believe that. But you've still got a very valuable asset on your hands there. He's young, homegrown, English. He scored in the Premier League. Look at what Liverpool got for Brewster when they sold him to Sheffield United in the summer, 25 odd million. Nketiah has done far more than Brewster. So on that, when you're sort of comparing him to that, he could be worth £30 million, and yet you're letting him get down to the last 18 months of his contract at the moment. In the summer, he'll be down to his last year. That value is just going to plummet, and you've got to protect your assets. And Arsenal have got to get better at doing this, because if they want to get themselves back towards the top, they want to start building the squad properly, then that's what they're going to have to do. I can't believe we're going to be in the situation again. I mean, Lacazette has been going on for ages. I think Arsenal have got to sell him personally. If you give him a new contract now, I think it'd just be a really poor decision. I think you sell Lacazette in the summer and move on, bring yourself a new striker in, and move on with that one. If you sign Lacazette to a new deal now, you're going to be you're stuck with an aging forward whose value's only going to decrease. He's not going to get any better. I think this is a time to sell Alexander Lacazette. I think Arsenal realise that as well, but you've also got to find a buyer, and you've got to make sure that that Lacazette is willing to move on. So it's not going to be easy for that one, but certainly with Elneny and Nketiah, I think Arsenal shouldn't be in this position. They should have sold Elneny in the summer when he had 2 years left on his contract. Suddenly he's going to be down to another year now, so you're not in a good position. Chambers, it was difficult because of the injury. No one's going to sign him, so that was a more difficult one. But certainly Eddie and Elneny, I don't think they should have let it get down to this stage of their contracts. And Arsenal have got to improve on it. And they've taught the talk for a long time, saying they will learn from their previous mistakes, but they haven't. And when you look at the issues that have come with selling players and not getting market value for them, and how difficult that has been in terms of the finances, and how difficult it's made rebuilding the squad, it's not really acceptable. And it's certainly the thing. I saw a picture the other day that was doing the rounds of Sanchez, Ozil, Cazorla and Ramsey, I think it was, and someone quite rightly put, we got zero money for these four players, and it just made me think, God, that is right. It's just terrible business sense, and it's remarkable when you think how good those players was, especially Ramsey, Sanchez, and Ozil. In their peak in their late 20s. You just got. How can you lose those three players for free, for no money at all? It's just remarkable, and it's something that Arsenal really have to sort out if they're gonna start bringing more cash in and then reinvesting it and becoming better in the transfer market. Because let's face it, a lot of Arsenal's problems where they are right now stem from terrible decisions in the transfer market, both in terms of buying and selling. You go back to some of the summers when they spent 80-90 million pounds on Granit Xhaka, Lucas Perez and Shotran Mustafi. I mean, that's just a dreadful summer transfer window. Yes, Xhaka's gone on and played a lot of games. He's becoming an important player. A lot of you will feel he's not been good enough, and I'm kind of I agree with that. I think that although he's been fairly decent and he's a very important player to Arsenal, I think you need better than Granit Xhaka if you want to be a top level club. And it's just another example of those sort of summer windows of just spending terribly and doing your business badly. And, just Mesut Ozil going, it's just reminding me of all the mistakes they've made in recent times. And it's something they've got to fix with the new guys who have come on board. Hopefully Richard Garlick will be coming on soon as Director of Football Operations once he finishes his time with the Premier League. He's going to be replacing Husfami. Obviously, his main dealing is going to be contract negotiations and things like that. And he's going to have to really step up and do his job very, very well and ensure Arsenal don't get into this situation again, and they improve and learn from past mistakes. Eddie as well. And hopefully Mikel Arteta, because he's a very strong-willed character, Mikel Arteta, he'll kick people up the backsides as well and make sure that a lot of previous mistakes aren't repeated on his watch. In terms of sort of transfer stuff, there's not much to report at the moment, I'm afraid. In terms of incomings, I've been saying it all window. I'm not expecting too much for Arsenal. They might end up getting a loan in before the end of end of January. Their focus has always been on getting players out. They've done that pretty well so far. Getting Ozil out's a massive bonus for them, but Kolasinac as well. They've got Saliba on loan. Still trying to get Socrates a move. That would be Arsenal would be absolutely delighted with the window if they managed to get Socrates out as well before now and the end of January. A few clubs have been in for him: Torino, Real Betis. Nothing has happened yet, but talk's still ongoing to see if that can come to some sort of conclusion. If they can get him out, then it wouldn't surprise me if they do then to turn their attentions to bringing in a lone player. There's obviously been interest before in Isco in Madrid. Lots of talk at the moment, mainly from fans more than anything, on Martin Odegaard. Obviously, he's not getting much game time at Madrid. He's officially requested to leave on loan, according to reports in Spain. That has led to a lot of Arsenal fans on social media, adding myself and Arsenal into conversations saying, sign him. I'd much prefer that sort of signing on loan than someone like Isco, because he's young. He wants to play minutes. He's got something to prove. I think that'd be the sort of loan signing I could get on board with. I don't like the whole Isco thing. I've said it before. Just not sure what the point is of that when you've got Smith Rowe. Even if it is just to bring in as cover for Smith Rowe, I think I'd rather just cover from within and move Saka to number 10 if needs be. If Smith Rowe needs a rest, I'm just not sure about Isco. I don't think he'll be a success if he comes here. I think it would end up being another Denis Suarez situation. Odegaard is potentially something different. He's young, he's desperate to play, he wants to play minutes, that's why he wants to leave Real Madrid. If he came, that would be fantastic, but I've had no information suggesting that Arsenal were in for Martin Odegaard. I would imagine if he does go out on loan and Real Madrid do allow him to do that, the Real Sociedad would be desperate to bring him back there. Whether Madrid would want to send him there because Sociedad are having a good season remains to be seen, but I know plenty of you are very keen on Arsenal entering into the mix for that one, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. It would be one, though, as I said, that I think would be more suited than an Isco type thing. In terms of Buendia, lots of questions about Emi Buendia, get him all the time, nothing's really changed in that, as I've reported before. Arsenal have been watching him for a long time. He's a player on their list, but there hasn't been any firm interest in him in this January transfer window. His representatives, Nedu, are very close. Like I said, he's represented by the same agents and the Emi Martinez is, so there's a good relationship between Arsenal and them. Arsenal are absolutely aware of his situation. Buendia and his people are very aware that Arsenal are watching him, but there's been no firm interest, and we're getting so late on in the window now that no one's really expecting anything to happen, and Buendia is focused on Norwich and trying to get them back promoted to the Premier League, where they and they have a very good chance of doing that right now, and Norwich wouldn't even be interested in selling unless a mad crazy offer came in, because why should they? They're looking like they're coming back up to the Premier League. Why would they get rid of their best player in January and risk all that, and risk about 120 million or whatever it is that they would receive in cash from qualifying for the Premier League just for the sake of selling him for 30 or 40 million? It doesn't make any business sense, so I just can't see that one happening, I'm afraid. Potentially in the summer, but January, just don't see it. And as I've said before, I don't want to see anyone really brought in just for the sake of it to suddenly stifle Smith Rowe's development, because we've seen what's going on with Smith Rowe at the moment, and he's more than good enough to be a major force for Arsenal between now and the end of the season in the Premier League. And bringing someone in just for the sake of it that suddenly starts limiting Smith Rowe's game time, I'm not sure. It has to be the right player for me, not just any old player, just for the sake of it, just for the sake of it being a transfer. Just on Smith Rowe, contract talks apparently underway. The very good reporter Sammy Mockbell over at the Mail reporting that he's in line for a new contract makes absolute perfect sense. He's got 2 years left in the summer. You want to protect your asset the way he's playing at the moment. I think his last deal was a couple of years ago before he went out to Leipzig, I think, and he's only on about 10 grand, something like that a week, and he's showing now that he's more than capable of doing it in the Premier League, and so he needs to get a new contract, protect your asset, tie him down to a long-term deal like Arsenal did with Bukayo Saka. So I'd expect that would be something that would happen hopefully fairly easily. I can't imagine talks would be too difficult. He's very happy, he's playing, he's an Arsenal lad. You'd expect that contract would be one that wouldn't be too difficult to do, and Arsenal should hopefully be able to time down to, you'd think, sort of 2025, 2026, something like that. Just protect yourself and give him the contract that his performances deserve. Right, that's about it from today's video. Speaking of Mikel Arteta in the morning for that press conference to get us Southampton. Southampton beat Shrewsbury last night, so it will be Southampton Arsenal travel to on Saturday in the 4th round of the FA Cup. 2 visits to Southampton in 3 days because they've got them in the Premier League on Tuesday as well. I'll be at both games. And I'll be speaking with Mikel Arteta tomorrow during his pre-match press conference. As usual, I will try and pop on, record a video afterwards, looking at what he had to say, reporting on his comments, and looking ahead to that game against Southampton, team news, and that sort of thing. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please do enjoy what is a very miserable day out there. Stay safe wherever you're watching this around the world. I hope you and your family are well, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Goodbye.